Assalamu alaikum. This is the summary of lesson number 3 from unit 2. Use arrays to find totals. This is the lesson we have taken in the first week of term 2 in grade 2 math. So here we are going to see whatever we have studied from page number 69 to page number 72. First of all, let's see what is an array. Array is a group of objects, pictures, or numbers arranged in columns and rows. And what are columns and rows? I can see these are the rows that go from left to right or from right to left, and these are the columns. Now there are some arrays which are rectangular. And what's a rectangular array? A rectangular array is a group of objects that are arranged in equal rows and columns. That means the number of objects in each row and the number of objects in each column is always same. Like I can see here in each row there are 4 counters, and here if I see it by the columns, I can see in each column there are equal number of counters. Now let's look a closer look at some different patterns. I can see some different objects arranged in different ways. Let's see whether they are array or not. I can see here flowers arranged in a circular pattern, but when I come to see that in this row there is 1 flower and in this row there are 2, that means number of objects in each row is not same, so that means it's not an array. Next I come on another pattern. Let me check with the help of my line. I can see in each row there are 4 apples. Now if I grab another line and I check in the columns, I can see in each column there the number of apples is same, that is 3, so that means this is an array. Let's check the next picture. I can see 2 here, and the ducks are not arranged in a proper order, and even if I see by rows I can see 3 and 2 and 3, that means this is not an array. Let's check this picture. Yes, we have 3 in each row and we have 3 in each column. That means this is an array. Let's check this picture. I can see here 5 stars in this row, but in this row I can see just 2 stars and again 5 stars. That means the number of stars in each row is not same. And here also I can see 3 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 3. That means the number of stars in each column is not same either. So this is not an array. Now let's come to the final picture. There are the number of pictures in each row is same and the number of pictures in each column is same. So I know this is an array. Now once we have understood what are arrays, we can start finding out the totals using arrays. Now here I can see many circles arranged in an array, and they're asking us show and explain 2 different ways to find how many circles in all. We have to tell them 2 different ways to find the total. So I know if I can sort it out by rows like this and this and this. So this is how I can total with the help of rows. I can show this with the help of an equation, that I can total this array by rows, and I can show with the help of an equation like this, 5 plus 5 plus 5, because I know in each row I have got 5 circles and we end up with a total of 15. Now there is another way to add using the same array. Now here is another way. I can sort them out into columns and then use this information to find the total. Now in this way I can see there are 3 circles in each column, and I can write the equation like this. So by columns it comes to 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and I can write 3 5 times, and finally I reach to the total of 15. So this is how I can use the array to find the total. So we can model repeated addition with an array. And what's repeated addition? Here we can see repeated addition equations when we are adding the addends same again and again, and we can show it with the help of model or array. Here we can see arrays because we know that number of objects in each row and each column is exactly same. So we can show with in two different ways, one by rows, that is 3 plus 3 equals 6. Another way to show it by columns, and like here we can express it in the form of equation 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. Here they're asking a question, is this group an array? Explain. Do you think this is an array? No, it's not an array because I know the number of objects in each row is not same and the number of objects in each column is not same either. So we can write no because the number of oranges is not equal in each row and column. Here we need to show how we can add the objects firstly by row, two different ways. Firstly, we need to show them by rows, and in the second step in the second method we need to show them by columns. So if we start counting them by rows, I know that there are 4 plus 4 equals 8. The other way to counting them is by columns. It's 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and finally we end up having the total number of 8 apples. This is the same we are going to practice in the next page too. Again on page number 71, there are furthermore practice for adding the objects in an array by two different ways, one by rows and the other way by columns. So for example, here we can say 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, 5 times 3, the repeated addition, and finally we end up having the total number of 15 strawberries. The other way to count them is by columns, and each column we have 5. So we can write the equation like this, 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. Now here we need to find the missing addend with the help of an array. So I can see in the first row we have 5 banana. We can write here 5 and already there's 5. So 5 plus 5 equals 10. Finally on page number 72 we have some problem solving. Let's look at them each one by one. Ross places the berries in an array. You can see the berries, they are arranged in an array. Write two equations that match the array. We need to write equations matching array. How many berries are there in all? Now we have to look at the rows and the columns. So we are going to write by rows. First thing we will count them by rows. In each row I know there are 5 and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So I will repeat the addition 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. That is, I will write 5 4 times and finally I come to know that's the total number by counting here, that's 20. Or the other way to adding them is by columns. In each column there are 4 and I know that there are number of columns are 5, so I'll repeat number 4 5 times. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4, and the total will be 20, and I need to write here 20 berries. Next is the array shows cars in a parking lot. Here we can say another array and the cars are in a parking lot. Can you write two different equations that match the array? Explain. Now again we need to write equations, and already we know that we are writing equation adding them in rows and by columns. So here we can write, explain how many cars are in the parking lot. Finally we can know the total number of cars are 9. So we can see in each row there are 3, so we can write 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. And in each column there are 3 cars. Again we can write by column, again it's 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9. So in all there are 9 cars. This is how we can see the total number. We can find the total number using the rows, adding them by the rows or adding them by the columns. Now here draw a garden with up to 5 rows. We need to draw a garden which has 5 rows. Like I can see here, I have drawn flowers in 5 rows. And that has the same number of flowers in each row. Of course, we are going to draw an array, so there must be the number of flowers in each row should be exactly same. Then write two equations that match your array. Now already we have practiced a lot writing the equation using by row and counting them by rows and counting them by columns. So by rows, if I come up counting them 3 plus 3 plus 3, so there are 5 rows, so I'll repeat 3 5 times. And if I add them by columns, I know that each column has 5 flowers, so I have got a total number of 3 columns, so I can make it 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. I can even add more columns because they are asking us a fixed number of 5 rows, but the number of columns they haven't specified, so I can make it more or less too if I need to. But still, every time I need to write the equation looking at my array by rows and by columns. Here in final problem, we have Blake sets basketballs in an array. I have some basketball in an array. He has 4 rows of basketballs with 3 basketball in each row. Now I can see I have arranged the basketballs in 4 rows and there are 3 balls in each row. Which equation shows the array Blake made and how many basketballs in all? Now there should be an equation showing which should be matching this array. So I can see here 3 plus 3 plus 3, there are 3, so that means this equation shows it's repeated addition by rows. Like I can see 3 in each row and it's repeated 4 times, so that means, yeah, this should be the correct answer, 12. Let's check out others. 3 plus 3 6, that means there are either 2 rows. Here again 4 plus 4, if I count it by columns, again it's not matching the array because it should be 4 plus 4 plus 4 3 times, but here I can see 4 only 2 times. If I check this one, 3 plus 3 plus 3, that means 3, it's 3 times only, it has to be 4 times, it's not matching the array. So the correct answer is A.